Well, hello everybody. Looks like I got the wrong one going here. Let's go to the main view. Okay. Yeah. Welcome to episode 49 of After the Layout Photos or Rocky Off the Rails. We don't have a whole lot to discuss today, but I'm sure we'll find things to talk about anyways. There's old lonely Rocky, and you can see we're not in the train room today. So there he is. Okay. Cheers to everybody. Thanks all who were over on, and we might still have some other people trickling in. First say, I think Mom's watching. If she's caught it the other show or she's on this one, I don't know. But hi, Mom. And let's see who was the first one in here. Well, over on the other show, in fact, we can go look at the desktop here. Could see Dwight was first one in on layout photos at about 17 minutes before. Okay, well, that's cool. But let's go back to StreamYard. And Hot Dog Andy Pilot was here 1 minute before that here. Dwight Carley also joined that show. Welcome to the show. Pete Motley, welcome to the show. Liz, Windsor Valley Railroad. Hi, Liz. Brother Dan from Ohio. JP, welcome to the show. And Kevin Brown, also, I think in Ohio. Okay. Or is it? Okay, I forget. Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, one of those states over there. Okay. Yep. So, yeah, probably Dan. He was holding the table for us. He's the table is only the place that you can see or could see was clean. Everywhere else has got stuff on it. And I need to clean it off because, Kevin Brown is Central Illinois. Okay. I should know that. Illinois, not Illinois. And you guys can say Oregon versus Oregon. Okay. So, yeah, let's go back to the main view. Okay. So, again, I've refound my 1616 photo. So, and the green screen is behind me. Although if you tilt the camera up, oh, look, you can see the shelf. That's a little disconcerting. So, yeah. I wish this green screen was maybe 1 foot taller, or I guess I could bring it closer. Production issues. Okay. Dwight was holding the table like some at the restaurant. Yep. So I actually have a couple of folks, some of my good friends, coming over to play games today. Didn't get a whole lot. I went to the train store yesterday, picked up some small N-scale signal boxes and some other detail part, which escapes me at the moment. Must be super important. Let's see. Here it is. Oh, miniature pallets. There we go. That's what I bought yesterday at the train store. Did everybody get their model railroad for this month or next month? because they always come out a month early. And the first thing to do is take these things out and throw them. Or as my dad used to do, it would always rip out the ones that were just stuck in there. Yeah, and also for those N scalers, the August, September, October, the quarterly N Scale Enthusiast magazine is out, which is chock full of a lot of stuff, of pictures of people that I don't know. Lots of advertising. Yeah, so this is actually a pretty good thing. You actually, I think from your membership, you actually do get a free car. And who was at the most recent N scale thing? So there's a bunch of pictures in here. Lots of pictures. The National N Scale Convention had, of course, it had none other than Lowell Smith was there. He's right here. At least I think that's him. Yeah. So Lowell Smith, for you, those of you don't know, is the guy that does Railsmith, and he lives in a rural area of Oregon called Prineville. Probably most recently, people may or may not know, but that's like there's a Facebook data center there. So there's also about 1.5 people working there, and lots of spinning servers in that high country desert. Let's see what people say. I don't have any subscriptions. There's so much online. Yeah, but I think I'd keep it for nostalgia. I've got subscriptions to Model Railroader. I have a subscription to Scientific American. And of course, I have time to read neither completely. At best, with Model Railroader, I have time to scan the pictures and look at them. But I haven't looked at this issue this month yet, nor the member magazine for N Scale Enthusiasts. Yeah. So, anyways, lots of stuff to do. So, what does Liz say? I used to have a subscription to Model Railroader, but now every time I have a few extra dollars, I buy train stuff instead. Yep. Got it. Do miss the monthly issues. Nothing compares. Yeah, I buy these. I subscribe. Oh, I also subscribe to N Scale. There's an N Scale magazine I subscribe to, which comes out every 2 months. Anyways, I subscribe to those because I like the idea of them continuing as a business. And now I'm hoping to see what Firecrown Media does with them, as they are the new owners versus what they have been for a very long time. Kalmbach, which sold their they sold a lot of their portfolio to Firecrown Media. Not every magazine property that Kalmbach had was sold to Firecrown, I think. And they have a lot. They have like Model Railroader. There's also Trains magazine. There's Classic Trains magazine. There is Fine Scale Modeler. Oh, there's a whole bunch of things. We could probably go and take a look if I wanted to take us down a rabbit hole. Firecrown Media. Yep. So if we go over here, they've got a pretty nice website. Firecrown Media really started off as uh, acquiring aviation brands, but they also are, for those that know, they are, let's see, freight. What is that? Freight craft. Let's see. Let's go to about here. Um, seek craftsmanship, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of text here. So in 2021, they acquired Flying Magazine, which is well known for people that like to fly planes. I think their other website is called Freight Waves. That's another one where they talk about all things related to moving freight. That includes truck, train, and um, ship, I believe. And frequently mentioned in another YouTube streamer's pretty famous. If you don't know who he is, Sal Marcariano, better known as Better Call Sal. He does uh, basically a YouTube channel called What the Ship, and he got his start. He's a professor down in North Carolina, I believe. He got his start with that that ship that got grounded in the Suez Canal. And he started a show, and he's got a lot of people on the show, and he's actually frequently, if you see anything about shipping or anything, he's frequently invited to CNN and Fox News and other news places as a somebody to speak about things, including that disaster that happened in Baltimore with the ship running into the bridge, the Francis Scott Key Bridge. So, interestingly, that particular event uh, hit a number of channels that I watch frequently. Sal's channel and a number of other ones. So, anyways, I digress. I digress as usual, but it is rocky off the rails. So I think what do you expect from me? So what do we got? What is everybody doing today? It's going to heat up here in Portland, Oregon. They're calling for an excessive heat warning. I think that's the new term. It's going to be in the high 90s, maybe even triple digits. Certainly nothing like it was down in Phoenix recently, where I heard it hit 118, which is a horrible temperature. All right, GRE 257, 2057. Okay, 9 degrees there. I didn't go around the horn here. Let's go around the horn in this channel. I didn't complete that. I got down to Pete, Hot Dog Andy, Liz, Dwight Curley, welcome. Brother Dan, welcome. JP, welcome back to the show. Kevin Brown, Liz, getting back track on Steve. Welcome to this show. Thank you for watching. I know you're quite busy lately. Thanks. And everybody is quite busy to take half an hour or an hour out of their day to watch this show. Kevin Brown, yep. Did we get anybody else in here? No, people chatting. And then, Jerry 2057. I get, he's talking about Model River. I get all my Model River magazines from the bookstore now instead of subscriptions. That's a good one. I do like saving a little bit of money. But yeah. Okay, JP says it's going to get close to 100, but the AC has been running all night in the garage layout space. Well, that's good. Yep, and we are up to 460 subscribers. This week it will be special for me. I have what's become a tradition now since the whatever we call the the virus that hit us. People call it showstopper. I don't know the history behind that, but anyways, on Sidetrack Sunday, I think they call it showstopper. Anyways, 460 subscribers. Oh, right. What was I going to talk about? My work. So in August they give us a whole week off. And it's called Wellness Week, and I can use a recovery because I've been burning it both ends here. In fact, burning it so much, I didn't have any time to prepare anything for. Did I ever check? Oh, well, I should check my emails. I infrequently check email. It looks like I've got an email though. Do I? Let me check. I need to go and check my I need to go and check my other email address. Yeah, so thanks, Dwight, for reminding me. I have not checked it recently. And Papa John Trains, thanks for joining the show. And glad you got your internet back on. And I will have to, let's see, let me go and switch accounts here. Need to go to Great Northern JJ, sign in here. Hopefully it'll let me do it. How many emails am I going to have? Oh my gosh, I've got a few things. Okay. We've got follow-up from Liz. She got her train tape. Finally arrived. Yay. I think somebody trying to sell me SEO scores to boost me. Yeah. They want to help me get more subscribers, they say. Actually, they want to help themselves to my wallet. Can you send me a picture of your channel logo? Okay. I will get on that, Dwight. I will get on that. Let's see. Thanks for reminding me. Let me get back over to StreamYard. Thanks for reminding me, Dwight. I will. Oh no. JP is throwing down right now. Second level development while on vacation. I'm on vacation week after next. Well, the only thing that will keep me from doing some of that will be if it gets super hot in the garage. I think if it's 100 outside, it'll probably get into the 80s in the garage. So anyways, but the other part will hold me back is I really want to plan and make sure that I've got the right support for where the rest of that second level is going to go. And then I'm going to need assistance, I think, because I don't want to buy plywood at 2 feet by 4 feet. That makes it even more expensive than it already is. So I may bite the bullet and swap one more sheet for a delivery fee because that's about how much it is now. Yes, indeed. I know what you mean, JP. Plans are important. Um, I'm in recovery mode though right now. I've been frazzled. Um, in fact, I worked even though we're half day working. I ended up working until 8:30 last night after I took a nap. And yeah, I'm just glad that I actually had this was a layout photos of the month. I actually put all the layout photos together on Tuesday night. Got all that done because I knew it was going to be a busy week. So just a reminder, everybody, keep posting. We had decent turnout, but it is waning these days, and I definitely see there are some people who are posting a lot. Uh, Work is a four-letter word. Yeah, and unfortunately, so is no money. But anyways, uh, we'll see what we're gonna get done, and that will be the subject for um, next week's show is a progress report on where JJ's Great Northern is at with respect to level 2. I do have a couple other projects I want to do as far as the valence goes. Finally got the right word. Yes, no money, four-letter word is poor. Yes, exactly. Me not being the vocabulary person. I got retired money, really tired money. Yes. Papa John trains you and Pete Motley both. Pete, I will get that um, that printout over to you probably tomorrow if you still need it. Pete and I went over to Pete's layout a few weeks ago, and we measured out things, and we noodled on how he might rejigger his planning for his layout that's on the other side of where his Roy Smith's Memorial Yard is at. And then yeah, I threw that together, and then I threw together a sample of where track could go. Not really imaginative, just what would fit. And then usually what I do, I don't get so far as like these advanced, oh, here's where the buildings are, and yeah, thanks, Papa John. This was from the National Train Day. Let's see, when was that? May 10th, I think. So 3 months ago or so. That was it. Which reminds me, so we're getting close to the anniversary of this show. So next week will be about 1 year. We don't have quite 52 shows, but next week will also be um, next week will be Rocky Off the Rails show number 50. So not only have a layout update, but we'll also talk about some things. It was on that first show that actually I learned, and I forget who posted it during the show. But that first live show was where we learned, or where I learned that Roy Smith had succumbed to his illness. So it's been just about a year since we've lost Roy. I think the cool thing is people still continue to post photos. Hey, SB Mike, thanks for joining the show. The cool thing is people continue to post photos, and we still have a lot of activity over in his channel. Some people were complaining about people posting ads in the chats. So I asked Marco Jesus, I think his name is, who is one of the moderators, the active moderator there for Roy's Facebook group, not channel. I asked him if he could just remove the chats because it seems like people could get in there and start posting things and nobody was paying attention to it. So he did that. And so I think all the chats that were there are gone now. So the main way to post things is post it right into the channel if you're a member. So anyways, I think we're doing good to maintain that legacy of what Roy built. Eventually, it'll dwindle, and that'll be the way it is. But there's so much good content over there, and so much good content on Roy's channel. I mean, I oftentimes go back and rewatch some of his show. And it's just, I, like many of you, on Saturday, Roy's show would pop about 6 a.m. When I woke up, I'd grab my cup of coffee and I would go and watch Roy's show almost every Saturday. And that was like 7 years ago. I think 2018, 2017 might have been 8 years ago. But he was one of the first shows that I really watched heavily, specifically because he had to hit 2 points that were that I liked, which was, first of all, he was N scale. Second of all, he always has great content there, explained things very well. He didn't do live shows. That just wasn't his thing. But he was he was a very accomplished speaker and could speak from, I think he had most of his content written and he read from like a paper or a teleprompter kind of thing. But it was all very well put together, very well thought out, very planned, kind of the opposite of what I do. Yep. There's the Roy up there. And all those people that we lost, including another person that I'll mention who just passed, and he lived a bit longer than Roy did. I think about 20 years longer. But Jim Lovell, who was an Apollo astronaut, an astronaut for NASA. I think he was on at least was it 3 missions. He was on Gemini. He was on a Apollo 8, which is that one that circled the moon. That was the first time that we actually made it out to the vicinity of the moon. So there were three people on that show. And then the most famous one of Apollo 13, for which that Ron Howard, Tom Hanks movie that has been there for a while. Yeah, Apollo 8, Apollo 13, I forget which Gemini mission that he was on. And I think he was on that. I don't recall who he was with. Might have been Borman. So Borman actually was commander of Apollo 8. So, okay, yeah. And thanks, Dwight. Art's been gone for 4 years. Apollo 11, Lovell was not Apollo 11. That was Armstrong. So Armstrong and another guy who's getting up there in age, whose name escapes me temporarily, but I should know. He's outspoken in, yeah, he has a cameo in the film. Let's see, Apollo 11 astronauts. The reason why I forget things is because it's so easy to just Google them. Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins. We lost Armstrong in 13 years ago, 2012. Buzz is still with us. Michael Collins, a few years ago, he was the one that was left. If you know things about Apollo, you know that there's 3 astronauts there. One was left orbiting alone while the other two astronauts went down onto the surface. Yep. Everybody points out Buzz Aldrin. Yep. Buzz is a hero. He is, in fact, they are all my heroes, even though they were doing their jobs, they would probably say. Just doing the job. But yeah, very accomplished pilots, some of them very accomplished scientists. Anyways, oftentimes we stray into other areas here, but having just lost Jim, there's up to you. You're now up among the stars. Jim Lovell. Yeah. What else we got? So next week will be August 16th. We'll have a layout update. It'll be show 50, so it'll be kind of a little celebration as well as a 1-year anniversary of this show. How about Alice Cramden? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Pete derailed me here. Any goals this week? So yeah, for me, I'll be working on the valences up there. I've got material for that. Nice. JP. So JP is going to work on his diamonds. So they will be crossovers. I'm supposing you're going to cut that track out, and if you saw them in layout photos, you'll have seen JP's Colton diamonds, I think they're called. Monsville just published another N-scale video. Okay, I will go out and watch that. Monsville Railway. Definitely will go see that. Look forward to it. I just watched my friend, the other Andy Hindley. I just watched his show. He just published number 102. So go, if you're a subscriber to his show, he just posted that. Let's see if I can give him a shout out here. We'll go over to my channel. Yep. Please stand by while we have. Oh, look, Container Man 68 is live. Oh, well, I've seen him less live than usual, but maybe I'm not paying attention. Yeah, and Steve from Getting Back on Track with Steve and Roxy. I'll put that one over in the show notes here. There's Steve's channel right there. He just published that last night. As soon as it whirs and gets that thing going. Let's see what else has been going. I'll post a short after the show for better explanation. Okay, thanks. Got 2 train shows next weekend, and the car is still broke. Yep. The heat got to his track. Yeah, it did. He didn't show what had happened, but he explained it, and that was like, wow, that really popped out of there. Let's see. What does Kevin Brown say? Is to prep some T-Track modules to take to the nursing home next Saturday so an old friend can run some of his trains. That is super awesome, Kevin Brown. That is awesome. We drove a locomotive. Well, cool. I'm going to go watch that show soon. Of course, immediately after I've got to clean up and I've got friends coming over, so that there'll be a little bit of a delay there for me. But let me see if I can go and track down Andy's most recent 102 show. Here, I got it here. Copy that. And then I'm going to post that in the channel. So if you can, go and watch Andy's show. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to his show. And which brings me to a point. I'm going to play my little doohickey thing here. Hey, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe if you're still here. And even if you're not, if you're watching later, hey, you want to find a great way to wake up on the West Coast and drink coffee every Saturday morning? That's what I'm here for. Where we talk about, we somehow managed to fill an entire hour of talking about nothing but trains or whatever thing has sidetracked me or got me off the rails. And let's see. Let's go over. And you see that Rocky is now looking at parts of the magazine. Okay. All right. So Liz is sleeping a lot. She's probably just busy detailing her wonderful HO layout. Every single time I see there's a new business opening up, there's a thriving community. I think the latest one was there was an inn that was going in. Is that right? I forget the name of it. Of course, I remember there's a Rocky. Rocky has his own pub there. So he's actually wondering, when does he get Rocky? Rocky wants to know, don't all of our training rooms look like a disaster? I think that's a normal operating mode. Yeah, Rocky's wondering when he can share a pint or so. Yep. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to build that train behind you. Oh, well, that would be cool. You're going to build this one? Okay. That would be cool, man. That's going to be a challenging paint job. Yeah, Pete. You need a lot of help. I'm going to poke at Pete a little bit. The paint is a pain. Yeah. And one of Pete's friends, that young guy, Gabe, helped wash that train. Um, got all its sticky insects off the front of it. Let's see, what's Monsville say? I have 6 layouts, definitely a train room disaster down there. Wow. Wow, that's quite impressive. SB Nut Mike says, hopefully Cato will produce this engine. I am pretty positive they will. I just don't know when. It'll probably wait for, they're probably planning it right now, would be my guess. They have put out almost every single one of those commemorative Union Pacific and other um, trains. So there we go. Hold on, I got a text I have to look at. Okay, so what do we got? Yeah, so yeah, heritage units, exactly. Vocabulary was never my thing. I should play more word games, but even that's not my thing. Okay, so yeah, all those heritage units. I don't have all of them. I focused mostly on the West Coast um, versions, so I don't even have like some of the other UP ones. Hey, there was one thing I wanted to talk about that is positive, or maybe not positive. Um, yeah, yeah. All they have to do is really get the paint done, and mostly because that is based on that's not a brand new locomotive. That is a repaint from something else. So yeah, it's just getting it out there, getting the supply chain. I think these things are mostly painted up and produced in Japan and then shipped to the US. So again, next week, layout update in the train room. And then 2 weeks we'll be running trains or maybe something different. I noticed that, yeah, so the George Bush um, 4141 after his presidency number. And 1616 is after Lincoln's president was the 16th president. Yeah, for us to want to do that, it's a matter of getting that curve on the black part. Yeah, that is going to be a challenge. Looks like you're gonna have to try to figure out how to mask that, maybe cut out some masking and then paint it that way, would be my guess. And you can see that red or orangish red extends all the way back as a little stripe. And then you're gonna have to get the text for Abraham Lincoln. And then the other thing I see is these little glyphs. I don't know exactly what those are. Looks like some kind of shield or something. In fact, I'm not sure what the colors are there. I'm not sure what those colors are. Yep, brass bell right there. Cool. That's cool, Dwight. So yeah, I look forward to seeing your edition of that. Okay, so in 2 weeks, uh, either running trains or doing something else. I noticed when I was looking at um, when I was looking at people watching the shows, I can definitely see there's some content that's more interesting than others. So running trains without an obvious purpose of just having them run past me every time is probably not the most entertaining thing. And so maybe we'll try something different. Maybe we will do um, some ops or something. That's a little bit more challenging. Means that I actually have to run the trains while I'm running the show. So, okay. So that's top secret. Don't post it to any of your social media accounts. Don't tell anybody that Dwight's doing that. Okay? Your secret is safe with us. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Monsville, for coming in and joining us at we too early in the morning in Australia. Must be 2 o'clock in the morning or something crazy like that. Um, yeah, that is an option. Uh, or I could make Pete do the operation. We'll have to see where we get. My goals, since I go back to my goals. So, in order to get to the second level, a couple of things need to be done. First of all, I have to relight up the Helix. So the Helix hasn't had trains on it. Um, really, I did. Did I test it all out? I'm not sure that I tested it all out. I have to make sure. So rewiring the Helix is up there to get that at least to the second level. I need to figure out. I've got a turnout that is mid up the Helix. I need to figure out from that side how I'm going to automate that because it's not in a very accessible position. Now, for now, with just the second level up, it doesn't have to change, but it sure would be nice to have that. So if I need to disassemble part of the helix to get down to it, now would be the time to do that. So yeah, I know. I just put the helix up. What am I talking about? Taking parts of it out, but there's about 4 levels that it goes up above where that turnout is at, and it certainly be easier to work on, I think, um, if I had access to it. The other thing is, since it's in the helix, there will be no tortoise mount from below. I'll probably have to do a side mount thing. Can you move it and run the track around the outside of the helix? So it would be possible. The only reason to do that would be to stay on the second level or stay on the second and third levels. I've thought about putting another runaround around the outside of the helix. It would work up until it gets to the back. So the back of the helix, there really there's room for the staging level one to go around, but it goes underneath the other levels and there's enough clearance there. Uh, Access would be challenging. Um, Access would be challenging, but maybe possible. But I have to see. Maybe it would be possible. The other thing that would be the big challenge would be actually getting supported level track that did that whole thing, and then tying it in, much like I'm had to tie in the other things. Hey, barn full of trains. Thanks for joining the show. Thanks for joining the show. Yeah, access is really the reason. If anything, how would I do it? I don't have the capability right now to go between this back and forth between the second and third level. Yeah, so I already have a turnout. I have a tortoise um, jig or an adapter that allows you to move the turnout control off to the side instead of right below it. So I'll see how that can be there, but of course, I think I'm really going to need to mount that tortoise off to the side, and then I'll that enables a you can put a tube with that wire inside of it that allows um, you to have that remote mount. And that's going to be my solution because I'm going to probably going to stick with tortoise because I've got those everywhere else and they work pretty good. So um, that said, we're at 10 o'clock. I have to wrap up this show and get ready for my visitors that are coming. Thanks so much for all being subscribers. You are all subscribers, right? Okay, thanks for subscribing to my show. Thanks for liking it and spreading the word. And thanks for posting your photos. For those of you that do post photos to Roy Smith's N-Scale Union Pacific Evanston Subdivision Facebook group, that we have that monthly show, which is ran here. And if you haven't done it, go watch that show. That's a video that's out there right now. It'll take 10 minutes to run through. Bunch of great work there. I posted this month, but I mean, my stuff is nothing. I mean, I put trains on the track and put that Mount Shasta photo in back of it. That's the extent of my stuff right now. And JP has a bunch of stuff from his old layout and his new one. Go check that out. Also, John Tenzillo, Heath Meister, and a bunch of new people have posted on there and continue to post. So if you missed out, well, post right now. Post in August, and you'll be featured in 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks. Yeah. So that's all I got here. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll be back. And yeah, Rocky says, "Get to the chopper." So thanks everybody. We'll see you on Dwight's show. Remember, it's just about 25 hours from now. Dwight Curley will be showing us something. And on his show, yes, it's not a tumor. And then Sidetrack Sunday, and I forget who's hosting. It is the second one of the month, so I think it's DB Tech, David with DB Tech. So go and watch those shows. Watch everybody's shows. Spread the word, spread the love, and we will see you next week.